Peace, y'all. This is Views from the Seven podcast, man. Shout out to everybody out there. This your guy Spence. I'm joined with my wife. Shout out. My apologies. My voice is still kind of gone. You know, my young one graduated, man. So I got two back to back. And my voice has been gone. It hasn't returned yet, but we're gonna make it do what it do. Man, this brother here, man, goes without no introduction, but we're gonna introduce him anyways. Man, my brother, man, it's been a long time coming. Ivan, you should be here, man. But shout out, man. I know you got family biz. Man, my brother, man, my family comrade, Minister Stretch Sanders, man. How you doing?
Peace and love, family. Well, I'm so excited to be here. I don't know what to do. I started to come in barefoot, no socks and shoes on, the tank top. I'm just ready to just be my authentic self. So thank you, y'all, for having me on. It's so full circle to be here. So I'm honored.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're here, and we got a lot to get to. For starters, man, for the people who don't know, you tell them who you are and what you do.
Yes, indeed. So peace and love, everybody. I'm Minister Stretch Sanders, community organizer, minister, author, father, husband. I wear many hats. I got started June 14th of 2014 as an organizer. I really never had plans to be a leader. I always say if God would have showed me what was going to come in these 10 years, I would have gladly bowed out and said, y'all can have this. Y'all be good, be blessed. But, sometimes that's how life works, where, you get callings and you don't know what's all part of the calling. But a lot of people are under the impression that I chose this lifestyle. I did not. It chose me. I just wanted to be a part of the change. I came in during that Mike Brown era, and I felt that I couldn't just go to college and sit on the sidelines. And so ultimately, I sacrificed my schooling I was in the midst of doing and different things of that nature to be 10 toes in. So a lot of people credit me for starting that Black Lives Matter movement, which later became the movement for Black Lives. And again, I'm just honored to serve, to have longevity. Many comrades have come and gone, and I'm one of the few still standing. So I'm blessed and grateful. It's not on me, it's in me.
So where was the seed planted? How did it all start for you? Was it moms, pops?
Shout out to Mama V. I come from an activist family. So my grandmother's brother was a member of the Black Panther Party. My mother was back in the 80s when they first started doing the truce, the Against Disciples and the Stones coming together in unity. My mother was one of the first females to be a part of that unity truce. So I come from an activist family. My mother's father was a street guy, but he was a street guy that would go into the hood and give out turkeys, not just for Thanksgiving, year round. He had a nonprofit called Operation Butterfly. He would do things under his nonprofit. So my mother had a nonprofit. My auntie has a nonprofit. So I come from a nonprofit family where we feel fundamentally you're not a man or a woman if you ain't doing nothing to better your community. So it's different for me. It wasn't, even though I was called to this work, ultimately I had no choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a legacy thing. So here we are.
And then you touched down in Vegas. Born and raised in Chicago.
So
born and raised in Chicago.
You want the storyline?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
You should have just said so. So, born in Chicago. My father is a retired police officer. Many don't know that. My mother was retired social work / coordinator for a senior building. I'm the youngest of three. I have a twin brother, older sister. When I was 25, we connected with my father's siblings. So my father's side, I'm the youngest of 6. Mother's side, I'm the youngest of 3. Moved here for a better life. My mother was really nervous that my brother was going to get killed or they was going to kill me trying to kill him, So, because I would get mistaken to be him at times. So she moved us out here for a better life. Long story short, graduated from Las Vegas High School, best high school in the city. Go Wildcats. Once Wildcat, always Wildcat. And so from there, I was just going to go to college. I had dreams of being an entertainment lawyer. Grew up in a musical family as well. If you grab 10 of us, 8 of us can sing, 9 of us can play instruments, that type of family. So that was my plan. But in the midst of being in college, my sophomore year, Mike Brown get killed. So that changed my life. So when I would come back to Vegas, back and forth, I started just kind of organizing protests and just little things, just trying to be heard. And from there, again, it just took off. I had no idea it would be what it is today. You know, they recently told me I'm one of the most influential black leaders in the state. You know, that's mind blowing. And when I said, no, they was like, oh, you being humble. I ain't being humble. You know me, I ain't always going, it ain't about being humble. It's about the fact that, again, a fish don't know what's in water. So I don't really feel the same influence. I don't feel it because I'm in the midst of it. Maybe as I get a little older, I'll look back, you know, and see, oh, wow. But ultimately, you know, it's a blessing. But also, I guess I don't really get caught up in it because I paid a hell of a price. In 10 years, I've lost 7 jobs. I've lost relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, countless death threats. It's a lot to come with this, you know. So people are envy because they see me in magazines, on TV, you know, slowly. In the next 10 years, it's no doubt I'm not going to be a national figure, you know, Breakfast Club, different things that all that's in the work. People see that and they assume that it's all hunky-dory. Again, I paid a hell of a price. They come with this. Every time I'm on the news, every time I'm even this show, you just never know who's listening saying, oh, this is another person that's getting more attention. And people are very envious. And so they want this part of the life. They don't want the 7 jobs, losing that. They don't want struggling financially. They don't want that lifestyle. You know, wife looking confused on why you spend more time with other people's kids and your own kids. It's a lot to come with this work. And again, it's not a manual. I was not given a black print to this. All I want to do is help the community. Next thing I know, they call me a leader of Black Las Vegas. What? I just want to help the community.
Yeah.
We RBG Fridays. We ain't doing nothing, you know what I'm saying? We triple C's with Black Panther Party Cubs. That's all I was doing. But again, it just took off. And I'm grateful for it. I don't complain because even though I've paid a price, there's a prize, you know, I'm going to get. And man can't even give it to me, to be honest. But there's a spiritual prize I'm going to get. And we can't get caught up on the price that we overlook the prize. Many of us are scared of getting this work because we focus on, well, if I get assassinated or lose jobs, I'm not caught up in that. I'm looking at the benefit that my 2 daughters are going to have a better life simply because of what I've done in this community. And so I always say, you know, I have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, 2 girls. Right now, there's a 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old boy that's brothers that's grown up in the city like my daughters, but the way their trajectory is going to go due to their parents and things like that, it ain't going the direction my children's lives are going to go. You know, I have a wife that's going to get that will have a doctorate degree in 2 years.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? So we got a different economic thing going on. It's a lot of things that a lot of doors have opened for me because of my activism. A lot of other children don't have that. And I always tell my wife, like, babe, I hope you know that our lifestyle is not normal. It's not normal to have the attorney general eating lunch with us and Congress people having dinner. Like, average person ain't getting down like that. And so it's easy to get caught up in the 7 jobs and the things we've suffered, but like, we go in restaurants, bro, and don't pay. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just complain about, oh, this life sucks. No, because there's a lot of benefits to being Minister Stretch. So I just take it for what it's worth, you know, and I'm grateful. Not that I'm telling people not to, you know, I don't pay for my own food, but sometimes when the bill comes, they be like, so-and-so, you know, said, keep doing what you're doing. A random person. Like, this happens on a regular basis. I go to concerts, security, hey, y'all, come on. You know what I'm saying? All that. So it's perks to this. And so I have to be reminded of that. Not that I'm doing it for the perks, but the lesson in that is find the silver lining in the work, because ultimately I faced depression doing this work. I was suicidal doing this work. I went through a lot of hardships because it's tough. Again, 19 years old. You know, I'm young. You know, I met you, I was 20 years old. You know, I'll be 30 in January. So it's not, unfortunately, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write books and try to teach people of what come with this lifestyle. Because we ultimately, we need more activists. But if I can teach them, as you fighting the power, get that bag up. Because if I'd have had sense, I'd have got me a real estate license or a trade years ago. So by the time I got to this point, if I'm losing jobs, I'm not suffering financially because I've been saving. But see, we out here banging on the police and doing all this thing. We not realizing they're going to retaliate. You know, most of the jobs I've lost, ironically, the manager had a husband that was a white police officer. That job's gone. You know what I'm saying? So these are certain things that I'm not thinking about. We out there protesting and getting in the street and doing all that. You not realize, we think, oh, everybody's going to just welcome that movement. No, Dr. King wasn't Dr. King this hero when he was living. He was one of the most hated black figures alive. They wait till they kill us off, and now we celebrate it. So we're never going to get our roses and flowers in the midst of the moment. So my advice for activists is like, as you fighting the fight, be strategic. You know, they ask, when you gonna get back in the street? Well, listen, if there's a need to do that type of activism, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not gonna go out by myself. I know I'm a soldier. I'll be the first one to kick it off, but I'm not going dolo. Mm-hmm. So if you ain't willing to come with me, deuces. I'm not finna be the one to get ostracized. I'm tired of that, bro. I want to be able to live my life and have a little bit of normalcy. And it's to the point I'm like, do I even want my kids to even know my lifestyle? Do I want to keep them away from this? Where when they get older, they finally will be like, dang, Dad, is this? Like, you know, on the movies where you go into your grandpa's closet and see he got articles and awards. Where was this stuff? That's how I be thinking about just keeping it hidden and let them just discover. But then I'm like, but ultimately I'm hurting them because I want them to grow up in it. But they have a conscious home. So activists or no activists, they're gonna still have the mindset. But I do question if I want them to be in this lifestyle because it's a lot to come with this.
Now that brings me to a question, because you did mention, that you've been an activist since you were very young, 19 years old, pretty much all your life because of your upbringing and everything. Has becoming a husband and a father, has that changed your stance a little bit as far as like how much you want to give of yourself to the community? Because now you do, you're the head of your household, and you have people that are actually looking, that need you.
Well, I thank God for my wife. Shout out to Kendall Sanders. When I met y'all, I had a whole nother woman. I can say that. I poured an unbib on them. Change the bibs up, okay? But I'm grateful for my wife because she got me. At first, I took it like, hey, you stopped me from doing my thing. But in hindsight, she protected me because she saw, again, you let your passion get the best of you, and you overlooking, like, they finna kill you. Like you keep moving how you moving, and I had intel, keep moving how you moving, bro, they finna knock you off. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be like, okay. And not to say the target ain't off my back, it just ain't as red. You dig what I'm saying? But ultimately, it was just like, a lot of the things we doing, are we really standing for a cause? Or we just, at this point, we being irritating? Because there's certain things we jumped on, and it was cool, but ultimately, is it effective? So now I'm just more, my wife and my children remind me of like, she know it. If I'm going to get in the street, we had that conversation. Like, you out here going to jail, moving me. I said, okay, look, if I ever do that again, it's going to be something that we can't help but to get involved. She going to come to me like, man, we got to get in the street. That type of thing, and strategy. We got bail money. I can tell you times that we went to jail, no bail money, no strategy, no attorney. So it's all about being smart. I'm no longer going to be the send off. A lot of people have benefited from me taking the L, and that's over with. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to turn around and say, oh, stretching switched up. Well, I almost said the N-word on this platform. If you ain't finna ride with me, I ain't trying to hear that. Because everybody tough and so courageous, but then I'm the only one going. How that work? That math ain't mathing. So they say, well, you the leader. Man, come on, dude. I'm the leader.
And it's not a fun time.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a fun time.
Last story for you before we switch. I remember, I tell this story often. This guy hit me up. Hopefully he don't see this. Maybe he will. He hit me up about asking to work with him. He said his sister was being discriminated at this bar at T-Mobile Arena. I'm not familiar with T-Mobile Arena outside the concerts. I don't know what the bar he was talking about. But he was saying she was being discriminated against, saying he was like, he saw when we went into the store to shut down at the store, he was like, I want y'all to bring your man in and y'all come up and turn up. So I said, all right, we'll pull up. So I said, well, I'm gonna let you know so you can come join us. This man said, well, I can't come. So why not? He's like, I work in corporate America and I can't sacrifice my job. And I can.
Wow.
Come on, man. I was like, boy, these men killing me.
Yeah.
I say, bro, this your sister. This your sister. If my sister going through something, I'm gonna be the first one activist outside of that. I'm showing for my sister. This your sister. But he's like, but you the leader. And it's that type of community interaction, we just got to change. The days of following one leader we saw from history, it gets us no place.
Nowhere.
We got to take accountability for all our community. Leader or no leader, there's a responsibility that men have to have. And when I see these videos, it was in Chicago, this dude whooping on his sister, all these men recording, I see you, sis, I see you, sis. That's coward culture to me. Sister or not, I've been driving on Swenson and like Joe Brown and saw this woman being like harassed by this man. I couldn't have turned my vehicle so fast. And my mom was like, well, that's dangerous. Well, I'm willing to die on that because it ain't about leadership. That's a title. This is not a facade.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I said, sis, you good? She was like, I'm okay. Well, I turned the car off. Dude was like, you good? We got a problem? I said, bro, I'm making sure y'all good. You good? If I get out this car. And it's not about being no tough guy or the gangster minister they been calling me. It ain't none of that. It's about, I come from a mother that told me at all times, stand on your manhood, period. And that's coward culture, to watch a woman be abused or children be abused and do nothing about it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be no activist to do that. So as men, we just got to step it up. But that was just disappointing that he wanted me to ride for his sister. He can't even come. So it's that type of thing. And I didn't show up. That turned me with that. We ain't helping that situation. If you can't lead your situation, I'm not joining you. So that's my new activist rule. You ask me to come help you. If your son got into something, just know you're leading the charge. If you're not willing to lead the charge, I'm not going. If I'm getting fired, you getting fired. I'm like dude on New Jack City. The whole money team going down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're going to ride this together. And that's the difference between this movement and the former movements, is that the former movements, Rosa Parks wasn't just like, okay, y'all go ahead and boycott the bus on my behalf, I'm going to keep riding. She also stopped riding. The people who was impacted led the charge. Yeah, King took the credit, and it was a different time then. Men wouldn't let her speak at the speeches and all that. But ultimately, Rosa made sure this is my fight and I'm going to be heard and be seen in whatever capacity. Today, people will tell you, my son got killed by the police. Want you to do all the fighting, but they don't want to come around, don't want to sew up. Yeah. They get broke off $2 million, don't get an activist, no cut, like that type of stuff. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And I'm not expecting no money doing this, but ultimately, we the ones taking the hit.
Yeah.
So what support and cover are you going to provide? Because if you don't provide cover for people in the movement, you're going to have less leadership. And you're going to continue to create avenues for sellouts. The sellout could be avoided. I've turned down money, Steve Harvey show, countless opportunities because I didn't like the contract or whatever was being presented. This ain't no opportunity thing. I'm not money hungry, none of that. But it is about ultimately, do you have a strategy on what you're doing? And again, are you willing to stand for something? Some people just go for anything that's thrown out to them. And so that's just not how I operate. I'm going to stand for something. And some things I say, okay, I could get behind that. And some things I cannot get behind that. Yeah. But ultimately, it was the families we fighting for that just lead activists in the code. And we the ones taking the hit. We the ones getting fired. And I'm like, I know you lost your son. I feel for you. But you calling us for a reason. So I know I'm on a little tangent, but let y'all go ahead and chew that up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is a long time coming.
You brought a preacher on the, you don't bring
Skinny,
no preacher.
what up, bro?
What's going on?
What's up, brother Skinny? How you doing, King?
I'm good, brother. How you?
Man, all is well.
So when I met you, me and wifey was just talking about it. I want to say it was right after Eric Gardner was assassinated. That was the next year, 2014, when we started to come through. And at that point, you were a Black Panther Cub.
Yep.
And we were doing RBG Fridays.
Yep. Faithfully.
Faithfully. It was a real moment for me, man, during that time. I felt like I had really I found my purpose, And it was also during that time where I see how the games the law play.
Yeah.
And so for me, man, seeing just that for me, that was like the apex of the community work we was doing. At some point, it was getting to a point where there was a lot of people out there. We was out there all night. And then it kind of just and in my from my point of view, it was, I can't get into I don't know the ins and outs, but to me it was more so of a religion versus spirituality type of thing and belief systems. Can you go into how and why that tends to break things up, especially within the movement, because you do have so many belief systems. A lot of people have African spirituality beliefs. A lot of people have religious beliefs, i.e. Christianity, the Muslim faith, and so forth and so on. There are so many out there. And that, before any work can even be started, that can break things up completely. And that's what I had seen. Can you go into how and why that tends to break things up?
Yeah, so just in addition to that, I just want to kind of I include when you mentioned about the RBG and that like disbursement.
Yes.
You know, I think specifically with that, it was a religion, spirituality battle, but also was an ideology of like some of us, we saying hands up, don't shoot. Some want to say hands up, shoot back.
Yes.
And for me, I was uncomfortable with that because I'm like, y'all saying that, but ain't nobody gonna bust no banger for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, words is power.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna say hands up, shoot back, like some of these conscious folks, they want to push this like anything I say, I'm willing to do, and I mean it. People be saying stuff like we need to do stuff, and I'm not advocating, for the record, violence of nobody, law enforcement included, outside of self-defense. But ultimately, people doing all that big talk about hands up, don't shoot back. We need to shoot, jump it off. Ain't not the No Effing Around Coalition. None of these organizations did none of that. And then when I say, well, I'm not comfortable with that, oh man, you going, bro, like y'all saying stuff that y'all not even gonna do for real. So for me, it was like, we can keep it clean, you know what I'm saying? And we can keep it conscious, but keep it clean. We got kids out here, like, we not thinking about, you gonna F it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that to me was more so like the downfall of that. RBG Fridays, you know, it was a dope concept, but it was just like too many ideologies and nobody willing to kind of like too many cooks in the kitchen, not nothing but the table. Somebody got to yield their belief and be more respectful. Like, you want to go in on Christians, but you got Christians in your circle. And I'm not saying don't withhold the truth, but sometimes it's all about how you set the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a grandmother. She ain't the most conscious person in the world. I'm not going to be like, Granny, you a whole coon. That may be my truth, but I'm not going to disrespect my grandmother like that. So we have to get behind of like, that could be your truth. And my grandma old school, 81, so she's still into she got good hair, grandson, she got pretty eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, she old school. So she the great-granddaughter of slaves, right? So that mindset is a little different than my mindset. But I'm not going to disrespect her and be like, well, here's the truth, Mom. Like, why she still saying good hair? We ain't, nappy hair, what? Okay, that's her system. If I teach her, I'll slip in a little teaching there once in a while, but it's very tasteful and it's tactful. And we got to treat our people like that as well. It ain't sugarcoating it. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. It ain't sugarcoating it, bro. It's tailoring it towards the particular person to receive it. Are you talking to be heard? Or are you talking to actually have a person to digest what you're putting out? And I'm not going to lie, when I was younger, I didn't really have tact. People still say, man, you used to get on stage and you say names, which I still do today. But ultimately, I'm going to try to stay away from that. Yeah. But I'm not going to go on stage and be like, it's a dude out here with a hat to the back, long locks, green shirt, goatee. Yeah. I ain't saying no names. Really? So I get on stage, I'm saying names. The politician's sitting on the front row. Now, again, that was my truth, but in the end, did that bring us closer as a people? Or did that isolate me from an elected official that probably could help us, right? And again, I'm not saying that I shouldn't hold them accountable, but was that the most appropriate place? And I'm sharing stuff that I never pulled them to the side and shared. Yeah. I could have told them privately. I wait till I get in front of 100 people to want to call them to the carpet. Is that really love for real? Is that right? So I played into it too, right? So I'm not just saying it was just I'm the victim and it was me being religion banged on. But I think at that time, a lot of us was really just waking up into consciousness. And so when you wake up to consciousness, the first thing you're going to attack is Christianity. Yes. But here's the thing, though. The so-called conscious movement ain't much better. No. I tell people, what institutions have y'all built? Took that through my 20 years to build a school. And I'm not knocking him, but I'm just saying, like, it ain't, the way people criticize Umar school is the same way they say, these churches got all this money. Have you saw a church's actual yearly report to know what they bringing in? People thought Dr. Umar was rich until he started showing receipts like, bro, this is what I'm really working with. So we got to give our people grace. We are damaged goods. Don't none of us have all the answers. If you conscious, you pick and choose what part of consciousness you subscribe to. If you a Christian, you pick and choose part of the Bible you live by. We all do it. People telling me they conscious, I don't celebrate Christmas. I look on the story, it's a whole tree. I call them like, bro, I thought you ain't do Christmas. Something for the kids. Man, come on! Stop like, that foolishness.
You know, man. You know,
something for the kids.
You know, for a minute stretch, man. Me and wifey was like really down with the movement, man. And it was one time where we didn't celebrate nothing that entire year.
Me either. Bro. We all did it, bro. You wasn't just y'all.
But let me tell you, man, it was miserable.
Yes, it was.
It brought me like no. You know what I mean? It brought me no peace, and it's kind of like. man, I only got one of these, man. You know what I'm saying? I only got one of these, and my energy could go to something that's more important. Now I don't have to feed the economy, but the spirit is undeniable. You know what I mean? I like the Christmas spirit. And we only got one of these, and my little ones, and I know we setting an example, but these are sometimes the sacrifices that we have to make. But my energy can go to something that it's worth more meaning. You know what I mean? More That's meaningful. Right. With you, were you expelled from the Black Panther Party, cuz?
No, I was not expelled. So what happened with that was, it was another ideology piece.
Okay.
At the time, I had All Shades United. I started that around the same time, 2014. Mm-hmm. I got permission from Chairman Fred Jr. to bring the Cubs to Las Vegas. Yeah. I was the first person to bring him out here for a speaking engagement. He hasn't come back since. And so at that time, All Shades, we wanted to do a Thanksgiving event.
Yes.
Because I'm like you. I mean, even though we recognize the genocide of Native Americans, I know natives doing Thanksgiving. Once I got hip to that, I'm like, what the hell I'm standing for? Now, what they won't tell you was every Black Hawks hat, I'm from Chicago, I threw away. Because I started seeing like y'all wearing, you know, the Native American hats and driving Jeep Cherokees and all this other stuff. But this is a people, this are tribes. So I said, you know what, out of solidarity, I made a vow, and I stand it to this day. I won't rock anything that's a Native American tribe. So I threw all my Black Hawks. My brother was like, give me them hats. I'm like, throwing them away. I just trashed them. Not finna donate them, I'm gonna throw them away.
Yeah.
So that's my way to stand for something. But when I see Native Americans talking about they do Thanksgiving, listen, we trying to be behind y'all. If y'all saying it's cool, let's go ahead and cool then. So I wanted to do a Thanksgiving event. The Cubs, they're a little different. They don't do Kwanzaa. They think Kwanzaa is a pig holiday because the brother who started Kwanzaa, his organization killed two prominent Black Panther Party leaders, John Bunchy Carter and John Huggins. And I understand that. But my thing to them was, well, what else do we have? Right? Because we have a thing in the conscious community to pull stuff away, but replace it. Because ultimately, if you don't, I'm going to keep doing me.
Yeah.
And so they was mad we wanted to do Kwanzaa. They was mad we wanted to do Thanksgiving. And so it was just too much with that. And so they we just got into it, and it was just like, yeah, we gonna let bro go. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know.
But did that hurt though? Because that's you know, not only the history, and that was the first time I you know, I was kind of like, even though I was going through my thing, and you know, I'm hearing everything. It was the first time, you know, where I was like, well, you know, bro and them, and they'll get it together. You know,
no,
they'll
we
get
never
it
got
together.
it together.
We never got it together.
But
it got worse.
It was the first time that I was genuinely thinking about how you was doing, because that's a hometown thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, forget the history. I'm like, you can't forget the history, but that's Chicago.
And we knew Chairman Fred personally. You know what I'm saying? So my mom held him when he was a baby. She was like 5. He was like 1. But so I mean, it hurt. It's always hurtful, right? You know, I mean, it's certain activists in that circle, you know, I don't mess with it all. They don't mess with me at all. And it's hurtful because I'm like, I knew how tight we was and different things like that. But listen, one thing I'll tell people, it's peace and love in my heart. You're not going to disrespect me. That's out. But ultimately, you know, I have a forgiving spirit. I'm willing to work with anybody. We don't have the luxury to fight and argue. I told them this thing. Y'all want to fight over who we pray to, and we the real pray, right? Mm-hmm. We the real P-R-E-Y, and you focus on the P-R-A-Y. So they didn't ask Mike Brown, was he Muslim? They didn't ask Sandra Bland, was she a Christian? They see the skin complexion, bro, and that's the threat. Let's band together. Let's unite together. And we can talk about the disagreements once we get free.
Yeah.
But they want to, your religion is African, brother. Listen, stop all of that. And again, it's contradictions in that. When I start seeing the Christmas tree, but that really, that's when I made up my mind, moving forward, I'm going to do me. Mm. You know, they got upset because I met with the police. Listen, I'm putting it on record. If I feel there's a need for me to meet with the police, I'm sitting down with the police. You don't like that? That's fine. I don't care what you like. That's my opinion. But it's like a cult mindset. They say don't meet the police, so I can't meet the police. Bro, I'm a grown man. And I'm not saying I'm gonna make a habit of just meeting. Like I've had other meetings I have not went to because it's not a need for it. But if I feel there's a need where something's finna jump off, or I need to let them know where we stand, not to say I'm some enemy, but enemies would meet. True. A war is declared. We get caught up in the movie like, charge! No, before there's a war, bro, they meet. and then negotiate. Hey, back off X, Y, and Z. Bro, we not backing down. Okay, say less, we going to war. That's how it go. So when people so ignorant and stupid, they like, he met with the police, he's an agent. Agent how? I'm not giving up no names. I'm not doing no extra stuff. I'm letting it be known where I stand. And if you don't like that, that's just too bad. But I'm not being controlled or puppeted. And that's how a lot of that circle to me was rolling, where, you know, and then but you want me to be the police, but you supposed to be so conscious, and you at the conscious event smoking weed, drinking alcohol, got several women, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, is that righteous? Is that noble? So that's when they open me up to like, everybody is literally picking and choosing. So guess what? I'm gonna pick and choose what I wanna do. And the Thanksgiving, we don't do Thanksgiving, but I'm seeing other conscious folks talking about it ain't Thanksgiving, it's holiday day or family day. Listen, you got on the brown sweater with the jeans and the boots. You got on the same menu you at Granny house. Bro, stop the cap. You celebrating. You celebrating. The only holiday I have not wavered on since 2016, God my witness, is 4th of July. Wifey and them go out, I be at the crib. But best believe, play come home, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
I may wait till the 5th, because now it's the July 5th plate. And guess what? Skinny, you know, baked beans taste better the next day and when they cold. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. But again, I'm comfortable with saying that. And I'm not going to let anybody weaponize it against me. When I met my wife, I was trying to get her to stop doing the 4th of July. And she explained to me that holiday has, like the way I view Thanksgiving, and I made a choice because I told mom and them, no more Christmas, Thanksgiving. And that whole period, I was like, this is depressing.
Yeah.
Because in my family, that's the only time we got together for real. Christmas, random cousins would come through. But my wife, as you guys know, she's biracial, so her mother's white, father's black. 4th of July and white culture is huge. Yeah. They go to the lake, they do it all. In black culture, it's a neighborhood thing. Fireworks, barbecue, but it's not the same way. But in white culture, Thanksgiving is an intimate thing. They do Thanksgiving with their immediate family, meaning mother, father, siblings. Well, my wife met my family. She was like, Thanksgiving, we invite the entire family. Grandma's first cousins, it'd be 50 of us in the crib. So it's two different cultures. So how can I judge you for wanting to do the 4th when she not thinking about the slavery piece? She thinking about this is the only time my entire family get together. I can't judge that when I'm sitting there doing the complete opposite, but the same thing for Thanksgiving. So we just hold different way, but we have an understanding of like, the girls ain't finna wear no American flag clothes. Like, we've already drew out what the boundaries is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna keep it sparkles and fireworks and the food, but like the patriotism and all that, that's out. We're not doing that because now we tipping into the whole history piece. Yeah. Keep it neutral, put them in some gray and some blue, and that's just our agreement on that, and it works. Thanksgiving, it's the same thing. Now, we not sitting there disregarding Native Americans genocide, but again, all my family is in Chicago. It's me and my twin here, mom and my sister in Seattle now. So you best believe when I go to Chicago, we celebrate Thanksgiving. And most people in the conscious community don't want to be that open, but just keep it real. Yeah. Don't be fake. And let me see in your story, you got a whole tree talking about something for the kids. It ain't something for the kids, it's something for you too. Because again, you got to give under there as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is my whole bottom line is we all have to decide in life what's important to us. Yeah. And be able to stand on that. And I'm standing on mine.
Man, they jamming back there.
For the first time.
Right. For the very
got
first
a guitar
time.
in the background.
Yeah. Hey, no, sometimes stretch, man, if you feeling like, man, the Holy Ghost stop at the door, but I come back next week.
They be on something else.
Okay.
Wifey Skinny?
Wait, I did the not celebrating holidays. I still don't celebrate holidays like that. 4th of July I had to take back though, because I was like, they not doing enough on Juneteenth for me. Like, ain't no fireworks going on, ain't no barbecuing going on, and we just getting at a park and letting Walmart decide what Juneteenth look like. And I wasn't for that. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going back to the 4th of July. I like blowing up shit with my kids. My dad made 4th of July a big thing for me. Christmas, it kind of, for me, it wasn't more so about like other people's beliefs. It was about my kids. Yeah. I feel like my kids wasn't respecting it. And no matter how much I would tell them and say like, listen, that's not what this is. Like, it just became it's the day, you give me gifts, we're gonna open our gifts, we're gonna have fun. It wasn't a family thing like it felt like with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like when my dad was coming up with Christmas, I like the spirit more because I cared about what my brother got. I wanted to make sure my brother got something. I wanted to make sure my cousins that didn't have a father, that wasn't having money coming in, I wanted to make sure that they got something. I would give my stuff to them because I feel like that's what Christmas was. So that's why I took away them beliefs. I heard you talking about like when you went to jail and stuff. And I think that's when I came across you. When I seen that you had went to jail, and I was like, oh, he the one. And it was only because I felt like being somebody I'm an ex-felon. I went to, for my own reasons, I went to jail and stuff. I felt like it's too many people standing in front of these police. They're not willing to go to jail. They're not willing to die. They're not willing to do all the things that I feel like other activists back in the day was willing to do. A lot of people really did die for the cause. A lot of people really did time in prison for the cause. A lot of people still in prison for the cause.
That's right.
It's a lot of people that came home after being found innocent 30, 40, 50 years later, still didn't get nothing for the cause. The cause didn't have nothing for them when they came out. Long term, you've been doing this for a while. Your kids got to endure this. Long term, with like you said, this is not just a act for you. When it goes into long term, do you see yourself helping years later, or making sure that your kids are taken care of, or that this actually looks out for the ones behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just not expecting the community to do it. I think that's the misconception, and you hit on it, bro. Like, I've learned that in the movement, there's the cause and there's the community, there's the people itself. I separate the two. I'm not focused on the community. I'm focused on the cause. Would the cause benefit the community? Of course. But the community is the politics where you telling me I can't celebrate certain holidays and I got to say certain words. Like, that's the people trying to control it. It's like religion, but the spiritual component of religion, right? The religion is the church and sometimes the rules, but the spiritual is, man, we here to just serve God. So for me, I got involved not because of individual activists in the community. I got involved because of the cause. I felt compelled, like, I got to do something. And I think as time went on, I got sucked into these community campaigns and community circles, and we all lost sight of the cause. That's why we bickering, we fighting, can't get along, because we focusing on we got to do things this way. It's like, bro, get back to why y'all doing this work for real. We got involved in this struggle because we trying to free black people, but we let, whether it be on the news or little money coming in play or just everybody having their little egos out, now we getting caught up in some stuff that don't really matter for real. So I focus on the cause, and I do believe that my work in the cause, my daughters and wife will be at a benefit from it. But ultimately, I just learned to just change my whole little strategy up and just make sure I'm putting myself in a position that I can lead them something behind. So since I've got this whole thing going, I've released 2 books. My Father's Best Kept Secret Child, shameless plug. Also, my new children's book. It's the only children's book on Las Vegas Black history. Las Vegas Black Figures. Make sure you get it. Amazon. Coming to a store near you.
Shout out.
We finna drop the 3rd book, Panthers in the Desert. The story of the Las Vegas Black Panther Party. That was gonna be on an actual publishing company. Looking to get an actual publishing deal for that book. So I'm focusing on really writing. I get my degree next year in African American Studies. Once I get that, I'm going to law school. So appreciate that. So I'm going to go to school to be an attorney. So, there's some silent things I'm doing, but I'm just doing it under the table. But I'm just focusing. I thought I could make a career out of this movement thing. But ultimately, that was a fail because people didn't want to hire me because they're afraid if I say something, they're going to lose funding and all this other stuff. So I just got to learn that I got to ultimately create my own lane and look out for my family. Because if you're expecting this community to do it, overall, they're not going to do it. Some individuals, you're going to meet different ones along the journey. Like I met y'all, that's going to show love regardless. But the greater community, they just as lost. So how they going to help you get on? And I'm one of the most hated leaders out here. So I'm definitely better not be waiting on no community to help me. So I just got I'm going to be waiting. So I just had to learn how to get it myself. I was naive. I thought the community, you let the news articles and all that, you think, oh man, they love me. Until I started getting towed down. I'm like, oh, what type of love is this, right? So the same, I got a wall full of awards, and I'm grateful, but it's people who gave me the awards. They don't know I know, but they talking about me right now behind my back, right? So I recognize, man, that the award is cool, but the same one, bro, listen, Jesus, they were screaming, Hosanna, Hosanna. The next week, the same people were screaming that, they crucified him. So if I ain't learned nothing, ain't no loyalty in this. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? But again, people I roll with, Community Crusaders, New Era Las Vegas, Stress for Change, different ones, we know we locked in for life. But if you ain't in that inner circle, you know, for the most part, I feed you with a long-handled spoon. You know what I'm saying? I do have different ones I mess with, NAACP, different ones like that. But for the most part, I just recognize ain't no loyalty in this. And you just got to keep your eye on the prize because everybody wants to be the boss. People want your seat. People want your spot. And listen, they can have it, though. This ain't no spot I'm fighting for. But people think that this is, and you missed the part I was talking about earlier, man. Like, it's a price to come with this position. But I tell people, bro, I'm not doing nothing you ain't did. Only thing I've done, Dante, and you know, you and Shay can contest, is been consistent. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't. Everything I say, Umar says it. Minister, we saying the same stuff. I may have a different way of saying it, but consciousness is old at this point. Nobody's saying new information. It's the same stuff. We know about organ harvesting. We know about kidnapping. We know about we know about this stuff. So only thing a leader can do now is just say it differently. That's it. Yeah. So I'm not doing nothing that you can't do. But ultimately, people they think I fell out the thin blue sky, and they want to be where I am, but they don't want to put the work in. Just do the work, be consistent, but you're not gonna do it the way I do it. You're not Minister Stretch. I'm 6'10". Somebody told me that they don't invite me in certain things because I take up too much space. I'm 7 foot with a hat and shoes on. I'm gonna be big. I just can't avoid that.
I think I seen that. That was on the internet.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because it's like I'm not a hater though. Anytime I get the rock, I pass the rock. I put people on the show with me, all type of stuff. But ultimately, that's your own insecurity. I don't come in the room and try to take over. Like people say, you always gonna be center of attention. No, you have low self-esteem, beloved. That's all. You struggle with self-hatred. I'm not trying to overdo anything, but I'm not gonna dim my light so you can shine. If you want me to do that, you're gonna be waiting, okay? I know me. I know how I feel. I feel like I'm that guy. Yeah. That's my confidence. But I also know when people be saying like, oh man, you got this large following. I was like, where?
But then
you know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm as big as people think. They hype me up. They do the most.
Shocked at the things that people pay attention to. You know, and it's like, bro, I'm just like you.
I'm just your brother.
You know, so
with a little confidence. That's all.
You know, like I said, we was a year in, man. I think we was a year in when tragedy struck with us, and that's where, to me, where the loyalty and the family came in, because y'all didn't have to do that. You know, y'all had our back from the beginning to the end of that. You know, of that situation, with my son passing away, and you know, I didn't even. The crazy part is, man, I don't remember much of the funeral, right? I don't remember much. I was in another planet, man. But even then, you know, you got up and you spoke. And I remember some shots getting thrown your way. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, I know I ain't just hear what I heard. To do that at a funeral.
Right.
Yeah. And I couldn't put myself in your shoes, but you there for the family. You there for the family. This is somebody you genuinely knew. We were out there every week. What was that feeling like?
Well, you know, people were jealous because why he get to speak? That's one aspect of it. I don't necessarily remember any heckle, but I think I remember, like, I don't know if we discussed it, somebody there, we kind of discussed what it was, but again, you know, I don't really remember the service either like that. It was a blur for me. I remember being like, we all was just heartbroken for you all and just wanted to show. I do remember a little bit what I said. You know, I kind of played off the number 7 a little bit. I remember saying something to that nature, but I don't really know. I don't have a whole lot on that situation. I just know for me it was about being there for you guys and showing up. But man, haters gonna hate. You know, and again, I got a guy out here. This brother is still trying to thrash my name. I'm not even gonna say his name to even give him credit. Thrash my name, call me a thief and different things. It's all lies. And I'm like, bro, you spend all this time getting on me, but in 10 years, I'm flourishing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But 27 years old, got a day in the city, Ministry of Santa's Day, like organized thousands of people since that day. The We Deserve to Live rally was the largest rally for black folks in this city. 6,000 people pulled up. Like, I'm winning.
Yeah.
Listen, you never see a loser or the winner justify in the boxing ring. I only won because it's always who justify? The loser. You only won because you got me cheap. So my advisors tell me, Stretch, don't respond to that. You winning.
Yeah.
Let the losers justify. Winners don't. When you win, when Michael Jordan was winning champion, he was quiet. He did the little ego justice to show like, I'm gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm putting my head down, I'm grinding, I'm serving my community. But people are not used to a leader like myself being conscious of what I'm doing. I'm not gonna just act like I'm in a daze. No, I'm very proud of what I've done. Yeah. I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. 29 years old, with my background, where I grew up in Chicago, I should be in penitentiary, be selling dope, whole different trajectory. My mother was to this day, a strong, black, beautiful sister. Sacrificed.
Not too many tall drug dealers.
I'm sorry?
It's not too many tall drug dealers.
In my family. I got a few cousins I can give you right now. And so, Mama V, shout out to her. She moved, sacrificed her, gave up her job, everything to move us out here. So for me, I knew I got one way this is going to end. I got to be successful. Did I think my success was going to be rooted in community service? No. But ultimately, I'm proud of myself. People look up to me. I'm a role model for people. My daughters have a strong black man in their home they could look up to. I didn't have a father, but my father came to my home. We was 6 weeks old after being born. That was his first time meeting us. We didn't meet my father's family until we was 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? My daughters came out the womb knowing my family. So I'm breaking generational curses. And so if I want to be proud of my accomplishments and not have this low self-esteem, because we say, be humble, be humble, be humble. They only tell activists to be humble. Yeah. Beyonce can get on stage and say she's going to sell many records. Is that not being humble? This rap beef that's really getting too much attention, they could brag about what they're doing. What about them being humble? But when a leader is proud of their accomplishments, I got to be humble. No, I'm not being humble on that. If humble means I can't be proud of what I've done, again, 29 years old, no father in the home, grew up in the hood my whole life, bro. I should be dead in jail or somewhere just tricking off. Yeah, I'm proud of what I've done. A whole lot of people in this community are where they are and organized because of my ministry and because of my work. Whole lot of people got on due to the work that I'm doing. So why would I be proud of that? Yeah, and that's not me taking credit for it, but a lot of doors, people want to give me my credit, I'm gonna give my own credit. A lot of doors have been open because of Minister Stretch. And the same ones that want to knock me, they don't want to give me no credit, but quiet as kept, you know what time it is, and that's why you talk about me so much. If I didn't have much of an influence in your life, I would be irrelevant to you. People be upset because I did an event that they may have done with a different name. Why you got the same name? Bro, we got to have one Juneteenth event. It's a million people out here now. We got to have one event, one Christmas event, and it's only because it's Minister Stretch. If my name was Leroy Jones, you wouldn't care. Yeah. But because it's who I am, you feel some type of way. Bro, cut that out. So for me, again, I'm just going to say people are thinking. That's all. And I am humble. I am grateful. Everything I have, God could take it away right now. So I do understand it's all him, not me. I'm a vessel, but I will be proud of what I've done because I paid too much of a price, lost too many jobs, took too many L's, not to lay back and be like, yeah, bro, you doing your thing. Keep it up.
No, you should. It's a lot of people celebrating failures. They stood on failure forever. You know what I'm saying? Whether you've been in the gang, your dad was in the gang, your grandfather was in the gang, your son gonna be in the gang. Y'all stand on that for generations. Death after death after death after death. And be like, well, it's cool. You stood up. You didn't tell nothing. You did your 100 years on your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, people stand up for that and stand up for the failure. So stand up. And being successful, you should be proud. Because there's a lot of people that's proud that they was able to carry a gun for 50 years and do all the wrong. You know what I'm saying?
They would have hated if I was a street dude. I always say, listen, if I'm a street dude, I'm snitching. I'm telling you right now. Hey, bro, we got caught. You in the bushes, like, I'm not taking no 10 years. I'm giving up names. It was Mike, it was Lil Red, it was Big T. I'm telling you right now. So I knew I didn't make that cut. I auditioned for the Stones. They was like, yeah, you ain't really. I said, so I got to shoot him with a real gun? I got to pull the trigger? I can't tell anybody what happened? I just didn't qualify for that, So I knew that wasn't my lifestyle. I could throw them things, but outside of that, I'm like, y'all require too much. I gotta always show up when y'all want to come. I don't like large groups. It just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying?
So do you just mute the backlash? Because I know you get a lot of backlash, and then like just hearing y'all's story. Cause I don't know everything about you, but hearing the story of the Black Panther Cubs and stuff like that, and then you finna put out a book about the Black Panthers. You're not feeling like they might start throwing some jabs. They might get to throwing stones.
Of course. I mean, I'm not saying that, the leadership probably will, but if anything, it's going to come like what makes him qualified to write this book. But ultimately, said it to other people who wrote books. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a well-researched book, and I'm doing it. I'm the main writer, but it's being told in the lens of John Bunchy Creer, who
Shout out,
was
man.
the Black Panther Party leader. Shout out to Bunchy. He
We had
started
him on a few years ago.
Did y'all?
Out of Houston.
Yeah.
That's my comrade. So I pulled him in on the book, and so we tell the story about Las Vegas was one of the few cities outside of Southern California that had two Panther chapters. One in 1970, started by Jeannie Banks, who became an attorney, and her husband Tommy Jones. And in 1976, Bunchy started out here. So Bunchy was the Houston Panther, sent to Oakland, and Elaine Brown took over and sent him to Las Vegas. His father is John Creer, the second black doctor we had in Las Vegas, and his brother is Cedric Creer, running for mayor. So,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, that's his little brother. So Bunchy definitely got some roots. But ultimately, that's my lean on, right? So when they be like, who Bunchy gonna be like, I'm making the OG call. You know what I'm saying? So I put Bunchy on it, so it's like, you may still come for me, but again, I'm well respected in that Panther community. I keep in with Aaron and Elmer Dixon, who started the Seattle Panthers. I'm like the grandson to most of the Panthers in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, from Billy Shea Brooks. These was like lieutenants under Chairman Fred Jr. So most people, that's how I got into Cuz. Most people that know me know I'm a historian of Panther history. But outside of that, the backlash I get in general, my mother always she say, son, you're not misguided, you misunderstood. That's all. But I'm a firm believer that people that want to understand me, y'all, they will. See, many people who've turned on me, they always hated me. Individuals who love me, they choose to love me. They choose that. I'm a put my man on the spot. I got one of my comrades at Musaya. I'm gonna tell this story, bro. Hope you don't mind. But I want to talk about the realness. Bro called me. He said, Stretch, man, like, I feel like you don't really. No, the first thing he said was, you already said if I had a problem, bring it to you. I said, of course. He said, I feel like you don't really mess with me for real because I call you on answer, yada, yada. I had to sit on that because it wasn't nothing personal. I love him like a brother, but I did fall into sometimes you take people for granted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You assume people call you. This man don't got to call me, but he checking on me. And yeah, I'm busy, but I had to fall back and really think about what's important. I've been knowing him for 4 years. We was in New Era, Las Vegas together. When I left New Era, he followed me. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to New Era. This ain't no knock, but I'm just saying, like, loyalty. This is a brother I know for sure. Somebody come in shooting, he probably will get in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So it had me sitting like, you know what, bro, you right. And I call him, how much I call you now? He be answering the phone like, you good, bro? I'm like, I'm just checking on you. But I appreciate that accountability. That let me know, bro, you really love me. Because you know what other people would have done? That's why I'm Mr. Cut me off, call me an agent, put me on blast. That was the testament of, he's the first person to really do me like that, which I was so grateful. But there are a few who told me like later after the fact, like, yeah, I felt some type of way, but I'm over it now. But he actually told me what the problem was. We talked about it, and it was like, bro, thank you, because you did me a solid. Yeah. It's a whole club of We Hate Stretch people that he could have easily joined. Easily. So anytime somebody show me loyalty like that, that's loyalty. Loyalty ain't, we do a crime, I take the rap for you. No, loyalty is when you love somebody, bro, you look for reasons to hold on to them. And that was a prime example that this man really got love for me. He really cared about me, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have said nothing. Yeah. He would have found, and it ain't hard to find them, okay? They're out there. He would have found the We Hate Stretch Club, came to vice president, and been, you know what I'm saying, doing the fundraising. But bro called me higher. He ain't called me out, he called me up. Yeah. And had me really reflecting, like, bro, you right. And what it did was, I started calling other folks, because he wasn't the only one. I got relatives I'm not calling back. And I had to sit on that because, again, I get caught up in the community and not the cause. So I get caught up on the cause, and look, I got a family. You know, I can't be out here putting more energy into people that's strangers. And I get home and I'm too tired to play with my own kids. That can't happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I told myself, if I'm gonna do this work, be available to everybody in your life. And if you can't balance all these hats, the first hat that gotta come off is this hat. My first ministry is my family. And he's my family. So if I can't be family, I'm not prepared to be no leader. And I don't want to get out of leadership no time soon. So I better step it up and be a better family member. And so I appreciate that. So again, but those who cut me off, they didn't have that same spirit because they didn't want to. The whole time they was in the corner plotting on my demise. And the moment they got the moment to strike, they took it. So that's how you, so that's why I tune it out, because ultimately who's for me is gonna be for me. And those that love me gonna love me. I'm well loved. Despite the backlash, people love me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm well loved, I'm well respected, but can I put a number on it? No, probably not, because I got a lot of haters too. But that's because they don't know who they are. I love them. I have no animosity. Anybody who's knocked me, I'm open arms. I'm willing to sit down. We can hash it out. It's all love, because ultimately I stand on love. And that's my only boundary. You're not going to disrespect me, but I don't have no animosity in my heart for anybody, because I have an agenda. And my agenda is I want to see black folks free. If you have that same mindset, we can work. But you're going to come at me correctly. I'm not doing the, what you need to be, we're going to stop all that. And so people who get mad is because I have to put the, and like Dame Dash said like this here. He say, I'm the good guy to the good guys. He say, if you slap me and I slap you back, you tell the story like, Dame slapped me. You don't say you slapped me first. So I'm the good guy to the good guys. People love me in this community, but the people who are bad people and I've had to hold accountable, of course you dislike me, but you threw the first stone. So, you know, people that's gonna rock with you, and I'm gonna keep moving. I got longevity. I'm playing for the long run, not the short run. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was called because I've sustained a lot of personal, mental stuff doing this work. So I know that it's a passion. But of course, I do always say if God would have gave me a book of what was gonna go down, I'd have declined it. Y'all can have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here we are now. Ain't no I'm too deep in now to get out. But I'm gonna just be strategic with how I move. That's all.
Yeah. So how was it stepping away from, like, how hard was it to step away from New Era? Because I know that was your baby. Like, you did a lot of work with that organization.
Shout out to New Era Las Vegas. Karina's my best friend. I love her. I love Angie. Love New Era. It was heartbreaking. You know, first of all, the People's House closing that.
Yeah.
I still can't talk about it without getting emotional. That's why I wore my shades. 'Cause I knew y'all was gonna bring New Era up. My eyes still water. I'm not over it. I don't think I'll ever get over it. It was heartbreaking because to put the word out there, man, we finna lose our office. And this is what confirmed I gotta step out of this for a few years and take some time away, because people who I know could help us did not help us. And for us to have an office, I'm paying for out of pocket. My savings has been completely diminished because I put at least over $30,000 into this office. For 2 years, I'm paying $1,800 a month. On top of insurance, $400 a month, security system, all this stuff added up. The food, we didn't get no donations, never had a grant. We paying for this.
Yeah.
I'm paying for this. And so to put the world to say, man, we need help, and for people to be like, well, you got that office. Even from the New Era national leadership, I felt like we was on our own. And so for me, that was strike one. That was the heartbreaking thing. And then when I felt like the leadership, because many people don't know the story to that. So if I could share that, y'all got a few minutes.
Absolutely.
The floor is yours.
Because it's important to clear that up. You know, what happened was, at that time, we got People's House, which is the New Era headquarters. Personally, I'm sucking at balancing my family and my wife in this lifestyle. We on date nights, I'm on the phone, I'm on Zoom calls, got the Zoom leaning on the bread. Wifey sitting there looking like, dude. So wifey invited me to this, at her school, she works at a college out here, and somebody was talking about Minister Stretch. So normally, wifey would kind of be incognito because you don't know how this finna go. This can go two ways. Again, you like me or you love me, so you hate me. So surprisingly, they was like, we love him. So she was like, that's my husband. They ain't believe her, of course. And they was like, well, have him come to the black graduation we do. And so she was like, babe, I want you to come to the graduation, be a special guest. Like, they know who you are. Like, ooh. I said, but we got the New Era. We was doing the mentoring for the young men and women. Young girls in one room, young boys. I say, all my mentors unavailable, I gotta come. Now, in hindsight, I should have just canceled. But at that time, movement was first. It just was. I was not a family man. I was a man with a family.
Jesus.
You dig what I'm saying? And I can admit that because when you know better, you do better. But ultimately, my wife did not come first. She came second. Movement was my first marriage. My wife was my second marriage. And so I was doing it all wrong. And not to pass the buck, but I had people advising me to this. Well, she knew what she signed up for. She knew what you was into. Woo, woo. So I'm being completely sent off. And I'm just going in emotion. So I drop her off at the event. She like, please tell me you're going to try to come. Because I took her to work, and that night she was going to just stay and meet me at the event.
Yeah.
I picked up like 9 o'clock at night. The energy I dropped her off with has completely changed. She got a full-blown attitude. I'm like, what'd I do? She said, I just knew you was gonna walk through them doors. That crushed me. I went like this small on the 215. She said, every time somebody walked through them doors, I just knew you was gonna come, and you didn't. So the next day, she like, I want to get a divorce. You don't want to be married. Wow. And I was like, no, I don't do this. She's like, no, you don't be married. You showing me time and date nights. You just moving, grooving, doing your thing. Yeah, I'm good on that. And I knew she wasn't playing. So I said, okay, I got to do something drastic. I'm not going to lose it. I got a good woman.
Yeah.
You know, when all y'all go away, this who I'm with every night. F this community. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for my wife. So I sent the text message to the leadership of New Era. And in that message, I said, hey, I'm stepping away. I'm not sure how long. I'm putting Karina in charge. This was in May. I'm going to stay around to August, get her prepped, and I'm going to completely fall back after August. I didn't get a response to that message. I also put in the bottom, I'm texting you because you're busy. When you read it, call me so me, you, and your wife could jump on a Zoom call with Karina. That was my exact words. I called Karina. She declined. She said, I want to be president. Like, we've been through this. Like, you can't do this. Just try to stay around. She was giving me ideas. What if I take over a little more and you just come to every other event? She was trying to work. I said, Karina, I appreciate that, but I got to do this for my family. She said, all right, well, I ain't got no choice. I ain't going to let the group go down. So when he didn't respond to leadership, that was a smack in my face. Like, are you not going to respond? And so after that, we had another comrade in another city that also chose to step down. But he called him and did all that. And so he showed him like, well, I'm glad you didn't pull a stretch. At least that's what was told to me.
Jesus.
And so when it was asked to him by somebody, are you going to call him? His words, from what I was told, I don't owe him nothing. All right, for sure. Well, I'm really gone. Because this is a group for 3 years. Again, there is no New Era Las Vegas without me, period. There is no New Era West Coast without me, period. Nobody heard of them till I came on the scene, okay? So let's make that established. New Era Long Beach, LA, all that came after us. And when I was president, the first year we won MVP. When I was president, we never went under 30 members. We was the most, if there's a Hall of Fame, we being inducted. We was the most successful chapter in the history of that network. That is accredited to the group. Yeah, shout out to all of them. I was not an island, but my leadership spoke for itself. So for me to be told you don't owe me anything, okay, well, that's a wrap then, because therefore, I know where we stand. So I was like, I'm good. Now, it was looked as like, are you quitting? I'm not really quitting. In my mind, I was already let go. Because I took it like, and I'm going to get to his perspective, but I took it like, if we really so locked in, I should have got a call. Because my headspace, I wasn't in a good headspace. I'm in panic mode. My marriage is on the decline. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just on the like, some got to be sacrificed. This is going first. I should got a phone call. You got 10 years on me. Little bro, what's going on? Like, I got this message, bro. Like, take time, get your family together, bro. Focus on your marriage. We ain't going nowhere. That's why I talk about this loyalty to this community movement stuff, bro. It's all a facade to me. It's just, ain't no loyalty in this. People only, and this ain't just bro, but people are only loyal when it benefit them.
Yep.
For 3 years, I soldiered with this organization, blood, sweat, and tears, everything. And the moment I want to take time for my family, I was ultimately crucified for that. I was like, I'm really good on that. And so after that, it was just, I mean, and it sucked because it split the group. Like, you know, I know, you know, I dumped a lot on Karina's lap, and shout out to her for holding it down. But I mean, we family. That's the good thing about when you are in these organizations, New Era or no New Era, we locked in. That's why when they was on this show, when y'all was asking them questions, they wouldn't say one negative thing about me.
Yeah, that was love.
Because we tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be trying to pin us, like Crusaders versus New Era. Bro, if anything, we sister organizations. We family. How am I going to, they want me to dog them. How am I going to dog a group I started?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all love. But I understand New Era Las Vegas, they have a right to feel away because ultimately I did leave them. But I had a reason why I did what I did.
A solid reason.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand in the national leadership, in his perspective, I probably shouldn't have texted him. And I understand that. He was hurt. I was one of the highest ranking members. It got to the point where I felt like if he would have been, God forbid, removed, I'd have took over the national network. I was like one of his national assistants. So from his perspective, I understand him being caught off guard and being hurt. But we got to get out of our emotions sometimes in this work and be there for people. I deal with my comrades in my group. I get messages all the time of them can't do certain things or certain things come up or I'm not feeling good. I tell, hey man, feel better. First thing I do is acknowledge what they saying, man. Feel better. Text when you make it home. Let me know the kid's good. Like, cause outside this movement stuff, bro, we gotta show up for each other individually. If you ain't good here, you can't be good for the community. So if I'm telling you I'm hurting, and right after that next month, I'm battling suicide for 2 months. Now, what was let's just say, God forbid, I'd have killed myself. What people would have said then?
Selfish.
You crucified me for working on myself, but this stuff gets overwhelming. And then it was hurt because I'm taking a sabbatical. I'm miserable. And I'm feeling guilty because I'm like, I love my family, but I'm not doing my purpose. I don't want to start Community Crusaders. I'd say I'm never starting another pro-black group. I'm good. I'm focused on Stretch for Change Foundation, which is a philanthropy group. Keep moving. But I kept seeing like, Stretch, you know you miss being out there. The patrols and the rallies. And I miss that type of work. And the moment I start doing the Crusaders, well, my mental health went from like a 7 to like a 1800. I'm on cloud 9. I'm a better husband again. Because I have my focus. Again, I was fighting for my kids before I had kids. This community work is near and dear to me. Because like I was saying with that story of the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old, my job is how do I reach those kids' parents? Because I don't get caught up in the Frederick Douglass thing of it's easy to build strong children to repair broken men. Bro, that strong child going home to a broken man touching on them, right? So why you so stuck on this whole broken men thing or strong, whatever the quote is, it goes hand in hand. My ministry is from 6 to 60. I can't just focus on kids. These kids going home to broken adults. Give me that Malcolm X book. What you think you going to college? You ain't going to college. You're going to be just like your daddy. I got to reach that sister because she hurting. That's why she putting you down. Hurt people, right? Heal people. So I can't have a movement or a ministry that's just focused on the young. I got to focus on everybody. So my job is how do I reach those parents to unleash and lift up the spirit in them to be better so they can give their kids better. Same way my wife got an MBA, finna have a doctorate, you can have it as well. Rags to riches stories happen every day. So my goal is to reach those parents, to give them love for themselves so they can have love for their children and love for their community. So that's why I do what I do. I'm fighting for generations that's unborn. It's a thankless job. You may not appreciate me, appreciate other people out, we soldier with, but it's not about that. We got to do the work. We got to plant seeds and just know it's gonna blossom. And that's what it is.
Stretch for mayor.
Never. Never.
What was that process?
Yeah,
I
what
thought you
was
said
that
doing it
like?
again. How we doing on time? We good on time?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, 'cause I ain't never did a podcast this long. I know you 30 minutes and you
I thought autobiography of Stretch. I told you you know what I mean?
And I cleared my time. I just want to make sure I'm not running my mouth. So Stretch for mayor, that's another thing that rubbed the movement wrong, right? Because we pride ourselves on we don't get involved in politics, which is really asinine to me because the Black Panther Party, they wasn't functioning. It was a political party.
Yeah.
So I'm just confused how we can have. That's another conversation for another Views from the 7 when I come back on part 2, right?
Okay.
I hope I come back. Don't bar me, Skinny. I gotta come back when my man's here. So the Stretch for Mayor thing, really what it was periodically in my life, I go through these seasons where I don't feel enough. I don't feel like I've done it. I'm in it right now. I don't feel like I've done enough. I feel like I want to do more. I'm looking for that one thing that's going to really impact the community, affect the community. When I was in New Era, I felt like I had New Era do a lot of events that was good, but ultimately, in hindsight, was we effective? We did an event. We did patrols Tuesdays and Fridays, Wednesdays, and this is every week. When I was over the group, Wednesday we had the pantry from 6 to 7. We mentored from 7 to 9. Saturdays was hood to hood. Saturday night was a political education class, finance class. Fridays is the Black tour. That's every day I'm not home. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we got the Zoom meetings. So the only time I'm really not free in the evenings is like Monday, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so, but we was working. But ultimately, when I think about and add all that up, how much of that was moving the needle?
Yeah.
Because if we not moving needles, bro, and really, and sis, I keep saying bro,
No, you good. You good.
and really having an impact, what are we doing? You wasting time. Let's just be honest. You out here doing stuff, you're talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing. So we got to be able to put ourselves in the position to actually make what we're doing effective and really push people forward and push the needle forward. So I felt that at that time, it wasn't a whole lot of that. And so when I was thinking about the mayor thing, I was going through that phase again of like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing to be effective? What can I do to change community, so on and so forth? And I felt like something just hit my spirit, like, run for mayor. Now, that's awkward for me because prior to that, I didn't believe in voting. You know, we was like anti-vote, don't vote, totally against voting. But sometimes, again, God has a plan that you don't even see. So I saw that ultimately it was to get me be involved in politics in a different realm. But also I'm a realist when it comes to this. I understand politics ain't the end all be all. Voting is not everything. It's a tool. Whether you believe in it or not, I might be, we had a Congressman Horsford with us. Shout out to him yesterday at a barbershop talk. He said it. He was like, I can't do it all. See, we like to vote and we go home. Voting is part A to it. You got to vote, but you got to knock doors. You got to canvass. You got to phone. We don't want to do the dirty work. When you give the candidates your all, they give you their all. If all you're doing is voting, who you think their allegiance is going to be to when they get elected? People that got them there. All you did was vote. Oh, you thought your vote was what got them there? No. It's the unions that got them there. It's the other political organizations that got it's all these many hands that make light work. So for me, when I ran, ultimately I was trying to affect change. I was the youngest in the history of Las Vegas to run for mayor. Still this day, I hold that title, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to me, LaBelle, ding, whatever y'all got to do that. So it was a good experience, but also, it turned me off from politics though, because it got me to really see, man, it's vicious. It's vicious. People make up lies on you when they can't. What's the old saying? When they can't stop you, they co-op you. You dig what I'm saying? So lying, that's the worst. I don't mind you. You air me out. I'm on up too. Yeah, you're right. I was there last night. I'm sorry. Right? I'll be the first one to apologize. But when you making up a lie, that ain't no scandal. That's a whole slander trying to like affect my legacy and all of that. And so, I'm not saying I won't run again.
I was just gonna say, can it just have been bad timing? You wasn't voting already. You had never voted before, and then you just threw yourself in the fire.
It was for sure.
You were supposed to get hit.
It was for sure bad timing. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I felt like even if the timing never shows up, I just got to make sure it's ultimately what I want to do, because I'm not running to lose. If I run again, it got to be a smoke out, because when you keep running and losing, you lose credibility. We know some people y'all been seeing, they run for everything, bro. You ran for governor, mayor in 2 different cities. I don't know how that worked. It's all over the place. I want to run and really, we gonna show out. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like it was when I felt like everybody thought it was cute at first, and then I remember you posted a video of you actually signing, and that's when things begin to change. And then I started to see people come out the woodworks kind of attacking. Can you give hindsight on you said never again? Why the never again?
Never! No, it's just, again, I was 23, I was young, but I learned. If I do it again, I'm not going to ever say never, because we know ultimately it's the plan the Most High has for us, but I'll be ready, more equipped. I want to have 100,000. We already been saving for 5 years, put up. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a campaign manager. I flew in from somewhere else, so he can't get co-opted by the machine here. I'm not going to get too many of my little tricks, but ultimately that's what the strategy has to look like. We got to play real life chess. We got to have I got a 100-man army ready to knock doors, phone bank. We finna really do it up. And I'm not finna go for nothing that I feel like just to go for. If I run, I'm telling you right now, I'm going for state senate, I'm going for Congress. We going all the way.
Yeah.
You know, but it got to be, right now I live in a district that's diverse.
Yeah.
Okay. I love my black people, but got some neighbors that ain't black. Shout out to Jim them. But
Shout out to Jim them.
ultimately, Jim, Dave, and Dan, right, 3 across the street. Ultimately, I have to live in a district that represents what I fight for, right?
Yeah.
And so right now, if I run, I'm going to lose. You know, my community is predominantly white. So, and I got backlash for that. Hey, I thought you lived on the west side. Listen, live where you can afford.
It's a fact.
Okay? I lived in the hood my entire life. My children won't live in the hood. That's my request. If you feel different, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, if Vegas was like Atlanta or Chicago, where there are affluent black communities, I love that. I'm not running for my people. But if I can avoid having to pull up and there's 20 dudes sitting on the stoop, I'm going to avoid that. If I can avoid and there's fire alarms and police sirens all day long, bro, I'm in the hood all day long. When I come home, I want peace. So I don't mind bringing it up because people, that's like the elephant in the room. Where you live in the affluent neighborhood, I thought you live. Listen, it is what it is. My children probably will go to private school. I want the best for my children. But again, I'm going to give myself to those who don't have that same luxury. So you will see me all the time volunteering at Matt Kelly like I do. You will see me at Sherman Gardens every chance I get. Like I can say I'm going to keep my family in an area that may be affluent, but my heart is in the community, so it doesn't matter. Now, if I'm doing all this affluent stuff and I'm not even in the hood, then I can understand that. But 99% of my ministry is in the hood and ghettos in this community. Yeah. It's not a hood I don't go in and get love and show respect and get food and groceries on a regular basis. So, but I want the best for my children. So therefore, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But I'm not gonna run where I live and I can't win. But ultimately, we gotta stop thinking that politics is the college to activism. It's not. I've been very effective by not running.
Would you be okay with your children wanting to walk in your same footsteps? Like if they wanted to pick up on activism, would you be all right with that?
I got some ice water. I don't know. I mean, you know, like I said, they're going to be conscious because of what's in the house. Because you can be conscious and be an activist, 2 different things, right? So they're going to be conscious. I want them to be socially conscious. I do want them, and I want them to taste what it feels like to give groceries and help people. So I just got to find with that balance. Do I want them to be as accessible? Not while they're young. I won't. That's one thing I think I gave up my youth. You know, when my friends was 21, they was in the club at Dre's, I'm getting arrested. So I gave up a lot of my dope. Ultimately, I gave up my entire 20s. I didn't have 20s. I don't have no memory of me traveling in my 20s or doing different things people in their 20s do. Like, I'm literally the only young person in a room full of all these leaders. Like, I gave that up. So ultimately, I do want them to walk similar, maybe be attorneys, educators. I've learned that activism doesn't have to be boots on the ground. So, you know, we need conscious dentists because they tell you, oh, we can't take your insurance plan, but they don't tell you that you can qualify for this grant to get your teeth paid for. Only a conscious dentist is going to tell you that. The conscious teachers, you know, you see these kids fighting teachers and all that because we losing those old school Joe Clarks. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to those old school teachers that they loved you enough to tell you about yourself, but they wasn't trying to tear you down. So I want my daughters to explore that activism shows up in many ways. You can organize the classroom, you can organize the street, you can organize the law firm. Like, just don't limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, when I was a younger activist, I just saw activism as one lane. Boots on the ground, banging on the police, getting arrested. It's more to that. So I do pray that they walk in a similar path, but the game, they're gonna be laced up in a different way though. Even though my mom's an activist, she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So first thing I make my kids do, 18 years old, get a real estate license. First thing we doing. You know, so when they go to the summer going to school, they selling homes. You know what I'm saying? So that way you going to college with a couple thousand in your bank and get your license in whatever state you go to school, and you can sell on the weekends. Just giving them something to think broader. You know, most of my book sales, my royalties will be going to them, right? So by the time they get older, it's a whole account just of my royalties untouched that they can get and live off of. So I'm setting them up where if they are activists, they won't have the same struggle. Right. Money won't be a problem. I've given out many food, and we didn't have food. I came to many rallies, borrowing money to get gas. This is real stuff we going through, right? Yeah. So it's going to be a little different for them because ultimately they going to be brought into a little bit of money, you know, way more access, way more resources. They got way more aunts and community uncles and aunties they can lean on. So it's going to be a little different journey. And they got me guiding them like Richard Williams did his kids. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like you isolated a lot of the community? Like you lost a little bit of power once you put yourself into the political system?
Well, the power all belongs to God. You know what I'm saying? To God be the glory. You know what I'm saying? I have no power. I'm just one man. Now, but if we use power in the term of influence, no, because again, it goes back to those that want to rock with me gonna rock. Many people who dislike me or cut me off at the mayor thing, that's, again, everybody is waiting on that aha moment. Aha, I told you he wasn't no good minister. I told you he wasn't really. So people looking for that. You know, people who really want to hold on to you, they make excuses on why you're a good person. He didn't really hit him. He kind of muffed him. And, bro, he punched him, right? Again, I'm not, you know, I appreciate people like that because those individuals we should cherish because they're going to always see the good in you. Yeah. So I've been blessed to have people around me who see the good in me. And they hold me accountable. You know, sometimes I'll make a post or give a speech and my mama be like, no, you know, you shouldn't have. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it down, right? So I'm still growing. I don't know if people know this. I'm 29. I'm not 49. I'm not 59. I'm 29. Yep. I got started at 19. I had no manual, no blueprint. Most of the mentors I got once I already became Minister Stretch, okay? I didn't have guidance coming into this. I learned on the fly. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say things I shouldn't say at times. When I get 49, I'm going to look back at the interview and be like, no, you probably could have been a little more humble. That's part of the growth. My thing is, we got to stop making people rush the experience.
Got to be the final product.
Cass telling me like, well, you shouldn't, bro, what was you doing at 29? And not only that, what is your son doing at 29? Again, you nailing me to the cross. You know, like women to be, y'all protecting, we need y'all to protect. I'm like, sis, you got a whole big burly heavy-set husband at your house. Where he at in the community? So stop getting on me about what I should be doing. And you got men in your family. Accountability, personal accountability. So I just recognize, again, I'm young, and I'm not pulling the I'm young card, like punching through on my hand. I'm just saying I acknowledge that I have a whole lot of learning to do, but I also acknowledge you ain't dealing with no average bear either, okay? Yeah. I know I got more knowledge than the average 29-year-old walking around. Yeah. So therefore, I'm not no dumb, but I'm not always a finished product either. You know, I'm floating in the middle. And again, I'm willing to go through those bumps in the road and learn and figure it out. Now, here's the thing. If people can help me, I'm always willing to have suggestions. I have a council. I have mentors, people in Vegas I never meet. I have a council of folks who are in Chicago. Again, I'm not from here. People are aware of that. I am not from here. I could leave today and act like Vegas never existed and go to Chicago and start over.
Do you think that's part of the problem?
What do you mean? Like because I'm not from here?
Respect factor, but people not liking you because
they don't feel like you care about Vegas.
Or you can argue that as far as the movement go, you are the face of it, but you're not from here. So,
but nobody's from here. Arthur McCants, who was the first activist that started NAACP in 1928, he wasn't from here. Liberta Johnson wasn't from here. Ruby Duncan wasn't from here. Every activist that built this community was not from here. See, here's the thing. Las Vegas is only in its fourth generation of leadership. The first leadership that started this community was a brother by the name of A.B. Mitchell, who moved here in 1907. In the 20s, 1922, it was a few more families that moved here. The Stevens family, a brother by the name of Clarence Ray, Arthur McCants, Liberta Johnson. That's our first wave of leadership. Second wave of leadership, the Bob Baileys, the Ruby Duncans, the James McMillans, the first black dentist. That's our second wave of leadership. Third wave, Sweet Lou Collins, Lawrence Weekly, Frank Hawkins. Fourth wave of leadership, myself, y'all, Dante Scott, Sean Torrey, William McCurdy. We're 4 generations in leadership. The only ones who are from here is the third generation. Sweet Lou and them generation, Frank Hawkins generation. Their mothers and grandparents ain't from here. So people be talking about you ain't from here. It's only our generation and a step above. Your granny ain't from here and your great granny ain't from here. So I don't really let that bother me because again, if you know the history of Black Las Vegas, ain't nobody from here.
Fact.
And because I'm the Las Vegas neighborhood historian, bringing you Black History Local and National, I understand the history of Black Las Vegas front and back.
Hey, I
So,
appreciate that too. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. The history that you put, you know.
and that's what inspires me, right? Because people hit me with a stick, but you don't know where the stick was planted at. You don't know the history of it. So it doesn't bother me because I understand. I may not agree with everything, but I'm very understanding. So if people question my care, again, just look at my work. But ultimately, an individual who's like, he don't care, Skinny, I can't convince them. Yeah. It's some people I'm not going to ever want, they'll never like me. They'll go to the grave disliking me. God bless you. People in their 50s dislike me. You don't get to be a hater of a brother that you can be the parent of. Like, that's just weird to me. Like, how are you hating me and you got 20 years on me? Yeah. I don't understand it. So ultimately, I don't get caught up in who don't like me, who do like me, because again, it goes back to what I said earlier. People that's going to like you, they're going to like you. Now, I've had people who got to know me better say, you know what, man, you misunderstood. First, I didn't know how to. I'm like, brother, I appreciate that. Once you get to know me, Minister Stretch and Stretch, two different individuals. Minister Stretch, again, is this figure, public figure. You know, Stretch, I'm quiet, I'm funny, but I don't do a whole lot of talking. I'm very mild-mannered, I'm goofy. People are like, bro, you really funny. You don't know me. Because if you know me, you know I'm a comedian at heart. Yeah. So ultimately, it's one of them things where, thank you, beloved, appreciate you. It's one of them things where if you get to know me for real, you understand it's two sides of this. Dr. King was that figure, but when he was home, he was joking, he was rolling on the floor. So people, you only dislike my public persona. You don't really know me to dislike me. Because if you know me, you're going to like me because I'm likable.
Yeah. So what made you want to dig into Las Vegas history?
That's
like
a good
the
question.
Las Vegas Black history, I should say.
Because I wanted to start dispelling some of the myths that people try to use against me, like Vegas ain't never been like this. I'm like, no, it has, because I just know Black people. The cloth we are today, that's why I hate that shirt to say, we are not our ancestors, you can get these hands. Is you crazy? I don't know what ancestors you had. My ancestors had hands. Yeah. Again, this new generation, we can't bust a grape and wedge it back out with spiked shoes on compared to our elders. The hell they paid? Yeah. Come on now. We wish we can even be in the same caliber with somebody born in 1910, like my great grandmother was, that couldn't even, you can't even cough around white folks. You know what I'm saying? Looking them in the eye was illegal. So we don't understand. We from a different generation, you know. And so I wanted to study the history of Black Las Vegas to, number one, teach the people who keep telling me, well, you were transplant. Your grandmother's a transplant. Again, everybody that got roots here, they came from Tallulah, Louisiana. They came from Fordyce, Arkansas. And they came from small parts of Mississippi. That's anybody that's from, they got family generations, that's where they came from. And so, and in the early days of Black Las Vegas, when we had people like A.B. Mitchell and John Bevelton who moved here in like 1905, 1907, that's when Vegas had like 20 Black people in the early 1900s. They came from Texas and Oklahoma. Most of them was related and in-laws and, you know, married in. So because I'm doing the homework, I can really stand on my message. Because now people try to tell me stuff. I have articles. If y'all know, I got articles going behind me. Those are the receipts. I'm not making this up. Yeah. I got census records. You know, I'm a genealogist also, you know, a family historian. And so I'm not just throwing out information. I found an article from 1929 that says colored, they used to call it colony, Colored Colony celebrates Emancipation Day. I said, wow, we've been celebrating Juneteenth since 1929? They didn't call it Juneteenth, they called it Emancipation Day. People out here saying, we've been celebrating Juneteenth for 20 years. No, you didn't celebrate Juneteenth since 1929. So when you know better, you can do better. Yeah. People are not taught. And so people think because your event is 20 years old. No, they've been doing that since the 20s, but you don't know. So we always, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. We got to know that. So we think that things that are happening, I know I didn't invent no movement. I'm a son of Ruby Duncan. I'm a son of Bob Bailey. I'm a son of Anna Bailey, Marzette Lewis, Mary Wesley. I'm a product of what they did. I have not done nothing they have not done. Yeah. There is no Minister Stretch without Mary Wesley, Ruby Duncan, Arthur McCants. So they paved the way for me. So I don't walk around like I'm the end-all, be-all. I did it all on my own. I'm self-made. I'm not self-made anything. Somebody bled so I can bleed a little less. Somebody was beat up so I don't have to take too many hits. So how can I complain about the backlash I'm getting? What backlash you think they got? They went to protest knowing white folks at the corner waiting on them.
Yeah.
And will probably kill you. When Ruby Duncan and Mary West was doing that welfare rights, the mob was threatening like, we will kidnap you tonight. This is when the mob was running the scene in the city, the Chicago outfit. So times have changed. They took the hit, so I don't have to get this hit. So for me, I'm honored to share the history, and it's motivated me to keep going. You gotta have a why. Sometimes this community pisses me off, and I'm like, y'all can have this. So I had to find ways to keep me motivated, to keep going, to look past the chitter chatter and fall in love again with the cause. And the best way to fall in love with your people is know the history of it. And so I'm very in love with Black Las Vegas because I can dispel that we don't have culture, we don't have history. Vegas has culture, Vegas has history. The problem is we just not doing a good job of carrying it on. It's created and we let it go.
Is your relationship with the pulpit the same as the activism?
That's a different lane, right? So it's like somebody saying, is your relationship with your kids the same thing with your wife? It's different, right? The way you love your wife is different than you love your kids. I can't explain it. I had to have kids first to really experience that. But like, I am in love with my wife, but my adore for my daughters is different, especially my oldest.
So what's the pulpit?
So you research that, especially my oldest. I'm gonna be watching that like, she think I got favorites, but my oldest baby, that's my daughter, that's my doodle Buddha. My youngest, she's a mommy's girl. But the pulpit for me, again, I'm who I am in the community because of my faith. You know, people told me, I remember when you wasn't a minister. I've been a minister since you met me, since day one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, it's just that people were not used to a minister in an unconventional way. I've always rocked the earring. I've always rocked chains.
Yes, you did.
I've always been, you know, one of them dressers. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? That part. And so I was telling one of my comrades earlier that this church told me they didn't want me to come because I had my earring in. He said, you look feminine.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, I won't be preaching. See, what you see is what you get.
What you get.
I'm not switching up. Now, of course, me giving a speech, it's going to be tailored different when I'm giving a sermon because my sermon is rooted in the word. When I'm out here talking, a lot of times I'm not going a religious route because not all my support is Christians, right? And I don't want to, I'm not necessarily just catering to them, but I want my message to be relatable. That's why I chose to be Minister Stretch opposed to Minister Vance. I don't go by my first name. That's not that I dislike it, but I want to be relatable.
Yeah.
I have people that follow me, they from down the street. Like my brother always say, man, your funeral, you're going to have Crips, Bloods, Gersons. Again, don't get caught up on the little internet. Everybody likes me. Not everybody, but a majority of people, they mess with me. So that's just what it is. So it's like, I can call Babe Blue, I can call Congressman Horsford. Like, I'm tapped in. So that is a part of my ministry, though. My ministry, because you said pulpit, it ain't just pulpit, it's ministry. Because when you say pulpit, that boxes me to the four walls.
Yeah.
My ministry is four walls, no walls. From the trap house to the White House, to the alley, to the valley, I move around. So I don't limit myself because ultimately, and I just got approved to start going into the jails. I'm finna bring the same thing we doing to the prisons.
That's what's up.
My goal is to reach everybody. I'm not gonna box myself to just a pulpit. There's times where I can't make church because duty calls in the community. I'm not a pastor, right? So pastors have more responsibility. I'm an associate minister at Great Evergreen Mission Baptist Church. Shout out to my pastor, Dr. Smith. So right now, the Lord has me in the vineyard. I'm in the street. As I get older, my 50s, 60s, I may take a pastoral role. And if I do, my church ain't gonna be nothing but just a church on steroids in the community. It's just gonna be the same thing. We're gonna have food pantry. We're gonna be turning the playground or the parking lot into a summer camp during the summer. Like the kids come and have hamburgers. Like we give out free food. The homeless can shower. Like all I'm gonna do is transform the church into a community center. Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm. So nothing really changed for me. I don't view it like two different entities, but I'm very clear. I wear several hats. As you guys know, I stand on the square now. I'm a member of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall, Grand Lodge of Nevada, a Freedom Set the Masons, Philippi Bell Junior Lodge number 5. So what that means is I'm also a member of the baddest fraternity. Woo-hoo. The Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Blue Phi. So, but when I'm in Sigma gear, I'm different than how I'm with Masonry. So it's not me switching up, but I know my lane. When I'm around Sigmas, I don't bring up what I'm doing in the community. And some guys be like, but why not, man? Like, you should be trying, bro, because I'm not here for that.
Yeah, you got signals in the community.
Correct, but I'm saying I don't promote my events in our chats, like none of that. Like I'm here to be a Sigma. I'm not here because I don't like people do me like that. You come to my thing, but you want to like, I got you to kind of advance what we doing, but you making it about you. Like you got to be clear on the hat you wearing. When I'm in Mason mode, I'm in Mason mode. I'm not bringing up Sigma. Now, Captain may say, "Ain't you a Sigma too?" That's different. You brought it up.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to promote Sigma. I'm not promoting Community Crusaders. I'm not promoting Chef for Change. I'm promoting Masonry. And when I'm with my family in the community, Mistress, can we talk? I said, no disrespect, sister. I'm with my wife and my children. You know, take my card, call me Monday, we could talk. But right now, I'm in family mode. So we just got to have those boundaries. You know, people call me after 6 o'clock. If we ain't got a personal relationship, I'm not answering my phone. You know, on Sundays, I don't really do things for real. But because we family, I'm like, well, I do the podcast. You know what I'm saying? This would work. Let's make it work. Ultimately, Sunday's my lockdown day. Like, we got to make those boundaries.
Yep.
Since I was here on Sunday, tomorrow, my phone off. I'm with the family tomorrow that we kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to set those parameters up. But I'm just very clear on the hats I wear. My ministry is my ministry. Church is my church. And church, they call me Reverend Stretch. Community, I'm Minister Stretch. It's the same title, but it's just viewed different. So I hope that answers your question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, like, so how is it building your foundation within your family, with both of you all coming from having different religious backgrounds, like coming from different religious backgrounds?
You did your homework.
Oh, I know you. So how is that?
Look at y'all. Yeah, so my wife is a proud member of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, and I'm a Baptist, and it works just fine.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, and my daughter's gonna be Mormon, and that was my choice. I have to make that clear. People are like, oh, your wife must have. No, because ultimately, my wife makes numerous sacrifices. Being married to me alone is a sacrifice. So the least I can do, I felt like, was give her that piece of what I know she would appreciate. And not only that, I'm in the pulpit, right? Realistically, she has to go to church. If I'm in the pulpit doing ministry, who sits with my children? Mothers are the first teachers. So it only makes sense they're going to be with her, right? And so once a month, I go to her church. Next week, I'll be with her. And on the ninth, she'll be with me. And it flows, you know. Ultimately, in a perfect world, would she probably want me to be Mormon? Of course. Well, I want her to be Baptist? Of course. But we respect the fact that we knew what it was from Jump Street. Like, she told me, like, I'm not going to convert. Like, you baby, I'm not converting either. You know what I'm saying? So we was clear on that. Now, I'm not opposed to it. I don't knock Mormonism. A lot of things they do, you know, I agree with, but there's some fundamental things, you know, I just can't get with. And I don't get all into it because it's not about dogging them or anything like that. It's just like that I'm just very clear. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I thought about it because that's just a fair thing to do. Give her the respect. At least put some thought into it. Don't just be like, no. I don't know why you saying no. So, of course, I thought about it, and it's just not my stilo. She thought about it, and it's not her thing. But ultimately, we both believe in Christ. We both got a prayer center home. We both read the Word. I read the Book of Mormon because I'm about learning. Whether you're a Christian or not, the Bible is one of the coldest books you can read. But you got to get out your emotions. It's a big Game of Thrones book, truth be told. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like 300. So if you get out of your emotion, I read the Quran on a regular basis. I was at the Nation of Islam before I came here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I study all. I'm close with the Hebrew Israelites. Like, and they be like, you an Israelite? You right. You a Muslim, brother? You right. I'm not into that. The title game banging, like, ultimately, bro, you should be with the ephods. I'm ephod in the heart, bro.
So
I say,
So do your children have free will? What if they choose not to be a Mormon? What if they choose not to go Baptist? Is that fine with you?
Fine is a little, I mean, you know.
That's a stretch. No pun intended. That's a stretch.
You know, I mean, I'll put it like this here. Man, you messed up with that one. You know, I mean, because people ask me that. They be like, yes, you seen, because I have a thing on my phone called Stoney and Stevie's Plan, real talk. I have the things I'm going to teach them, sports they're going to do. Their lives is playing on my end. Wifey's more like, babe, just let them. Yeah. I'm like, no, train the child up, right? So here's the thing. I told my aunt that was like, well, you going to control their life? I'm giving them I'm giving them a blueprint. Ultimately, I want them to have free will to pick. But I want them to know, though, you can't ever say you had no direction because you did. So me and my wife, we just want to provide the direction for them because the Black community, we the only community that don't have a standard for our babies, and that's why they perform the way they perform. Other communities, China's community, if you Chinese, I'm gonna be a lawyer. No, you're not. Your first cousin a lawyer. You be a doctor. One of the family full of lawyers. They're strategic. Jewish community, you're not even marrying if he ain't Jewish. Let's start there. Right? I want to be a chiropractor. That's cool. So you're gonna be a professor. They're very strategic. What we do in our community, don't give your son his name. He ain't gonna have his own identity. Don't be like your daddy. It's all this talk about nothing that has to do with standard, legacy. Only we talk about is generational wealth.
A lot of individuality.
Very individual. Wealth ain't just, my greatest wealth to my children is the knowledge we're gonna give them, not money. Bernie Mac said, you do the right thing, money will come. So we're not chasing money. We're not even chasing. We don't even use that word in my home. We're manifesting, we're praying. Prayer is from manifestation. We're gonna manifest what we want. Chase means running. So I'm very clear on the words we use. So that's my greatest gift to my children is the game I'm gonna lace them up on. So I have a game plan for them. They gonna box because I need them to have confidence. I'm gonna have 2 kids that's gonna be, by the time they 13, they're gonna be 6 feet, right? I know I come from tall women and tall sisters. A lot of tall girls have low self-esteem. I need them to have self-esteem. Boxing, y'all don't know this, but I box pretty well. I don't advertise it, but I've never been pressed either, so you never saw it on tape. And that's why I travel with men, so I hope I don't have to do that, right? Knock on wood. So, but ultimately they're gonna box because box teaches, box teaches confidence.
Yep.
They're gonna model because that's a feminine, masculine balance, right? So boxing is very masculine, but modeling is feminine. My mother was a model for many years. So the things I'm instilling, it makes sense. I'm not just saying you're gonna just do hula hoop because we hula hooping. Everything I'm giving them, in the end, if they listen, it makes sense. They're gonna play piano. They have no choice to quit that because ultimately a woman or anybody that could play an instrument can write their own ticket.
This is a fact.
You know how many churches need musicians? Yeah, they Mormon, but after your church get out, because it's only an hour service in Mormon church, you at Victory playing keyboards, making $250 a Sunday. I know what I'm doing. Just trust me. Daddy clear over here. I know what I'm doing, right? And wifey understands everything I've ever told her from day one, I follow through. So it's good when you know you have a husband that's a great leader in the home that has a vision for the family and everything he's put in fruition has come to fruition. Everything he put in motion has come to fruition. So, you know, I'm not, if they want to not go Baptist, and I mean, my brother's a Muslim, my sister's in the E5 thing, you know what I'm saying? So I got 2 siblings, we 3 different type people. My sister, she's lesbian. She's an E5 priestess. My brother got a little thug in him. He's Muslim. I'm Christian, with a little radical, a little edgy preacher. So mama got 3 different kids. So that's 3 different conversations. Yeah. But we get along good. Me and my sis, we have different agreements because she's also a feminist. I'm more old school, traditional on different things. But ultimately, we agree to disagree. We don't have to see the world the same way, you know. So I allow, you know, she allows me to move how I move and vice versa. So I'm going to give them that freedom. I don't want them to feel they're controlled. I want them to understand, though, we have a standard. You will not disrespect the Sanders last name because you come from a lineage. You know, I've studied my family tree from 1810 all the way down to now. Sheesh. You have a woman named Kizzy who started our family in 1810. You are a product of Kizzy. You won't disrespect Kizzy, who had Henry, who had Oliver, who had Carrie, who had Evelyn, who had Gladys, Evelyn, Vichelle, who had me. So that's 6 generations. Sheesh. So you come from a standard, right? So you're going to make Kizzy proud and everybody that came under. They know that. The family tree's printed out. I show my kids that family tree. So you come from a standard. You don't just get to come out and move like you were standalone, because you, outside of what me and my wife have done, you come from a family of greatness and you will perform like it or be cut off. My love is conditional.
Or be cut off.
You know what I'm saying? Mother's different. Mama gonna love on you whether you a killer, murder, don't matter. Pops, listen, I have a hard time respecting people who choose the thug life and grew up with money. 2-parent household. What is you doing? Save the crime for individuals that had no other choice. You don't get the gang bang and you got a mama and a daddy. Like, that never made sense to me. So, because having a father makes a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the criminal life, when you could have went a different path, I don't respect that. So if my children choose that life, you like, the kids with money want to be hood so bad. Why? Jesus.
Yeah,
I would have prayed growing up in the house I live now. What? Come on, man. Grass is cut? Like, it's just a different mindset. Ain't no diapers in the on the curb. Like, different mindset. So I want my children to know that, you know, I didn't do all this for nothing and you're going to live up to that standard. That's it. That's all.
Any parting words, man? I don't even know. I don't got nothing.
That my love is conditional. Is boy, listen.
That's the truth.
Oh, what? I'm finna kick my daughter out tomorrow.
Slightly joking, but joking, but not joking.
Nah, I understand it. Structure is big. Structure is big in the household. Like I'm learning that every day raising my kids. Like, damn, if I had structure, I'd be better at this.
Man, look. Jesus.
Structure.
Any parting words, man? I thoroughly enjoyed this. We may have to,
Yeah.
not even we may, we're going to have to, because I closed it, but I still had we had a whole bunch of, we got to do a part 2 down the road.
Yeah.
Any parting words? We get up out of here?
Y'all got anything y'all want to say, Pa?
Go ahead. Floor is yours, brother.
Well, I just want to say, first of all, I'm just grateful to be here. If people don't take nothing from this, I want people to understand that I'm just a human being that's just trying to do the best I can with what I got. This is not an attempt. When I do interviews, I think people think I'm trying to convince people to like me or anything like that. It's bigger than me. It's about us ultimately doing what we have to do to free our community. Our people are in trouble, okay? You got kids as young as 8 and 9 years old committing suicide. Time has changed. And while you worrying about me or other leaders, we got to focus on what can we do to save our babies and women and elders and so on and so forth. So my hope is that as a community, we come together. Next year, we're going to be putting together the 1,000 Black Men March. Hope y'all be a part of that. It'll be in commemoration of the Million Man March. So next year, the 30th anniversary. That march is so powerful because I spoke with individuals who said, well, it was just a big old picnic. It wasn't nothing changed. And most of those men say that wasn't there. But I got men who in my life that told me, real talk, they wasn't raising their children at that time, or baby mama drama, whatever. And when they came back, they got back in their kids' life because they saw all these men with their sons and daughters. I know men that told me they went back and started building up businesses and they created nonprofits and they opened up gas stations and things like that. So there's power in unity. So for next year, we're going to put together 1,000 men. We're going to bring in keynote speakers like Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, Ian Levizan. We're going to fundraise. There's going to be a production. And my hope in that event, and I'll be leading it along with the Nation of Islam, with the Muhammad Mosque chapter out here, my hope is that brothers will come, and I want all walks of life. Street, church, it doesn't matter. We have to learn that we got to all be able to dwell and coexist. It's okay. You banging that, I'm banging it, that's fine. Let's bang together. So I'm hoping that we can continue to promote that. So that's something I'll be working on for next year. And again, Community Crusaders, we just jumped that off last year. It's a revolutionary pro-Black organization. We're looking for membership to join us, men and women. We did our first neighborhood patrol a month ago. Over 45 men showed up.
Nice.
Brothers are hungry. Brothers are ready. And sisters always roll their sleeves up, but the brothers are ready for change. And so, my goal, again, is that people, hopefully you enjoyed the interview, but also you understand this interview for me is a call to action. It's not, we laugh, we have fun, but it ain't entertainment per se. It's a call to action. We got to get to work, because if you keep telling me, oh man, good job, and you ain't out here doing I don't want your good job. Just being honest, like, this is hard work. I need you to help us. And everybody ain't gonna be boots on the ground, but it's called Cash App. It's called Zelle. It's called I'll make your flyers. It's called I'll share your flyers. It's called whatever. Even bringing me on here is a way to support the work that we're doing. There's many ways to skin a cat. And I want us to just find your purpose and find, in closing, what's your reason to live? What's your purpose? Why did God give you breath? And once you find that reason, you can help me. But if you ain't clear on what your mission is, you can't support my mission. And we also know that we got to have knowledge of self, because if you don't know yourself, you cannot love yourself. Can't love what you don't know. And once you know yourself, you can then love yourself. And once you fall in love with yourself, you can love others. But you got to first know yourself. Right. And then the word brother is other. Did you know that? Because your brother is the other version of you.
Yeah.
And then the word mother is other. Our sister at this table, she's part of a community where the Black woman is the mother of civilization. Yeah. So if I view y'all as my brother and her as my mother, in terms of treating her with that respect, because we treat my brothers, we treat our mother with the utmost respect. Mm-hmm. You could be a thug. When you go in mama house, that thug stuff chill. Yeah. So if we treat every Black woman like our mother and every Black man like our brother, it's hard to rape and kill and slap my mother. It's hard to call my brother a nigga and shoot him and treat him like he trash in the street. because I view you as my brother and I view you as my mother. So when we fall in love with our people, things will change. And that's why I don't get caught up in, you said, the backlash, because we got to learn how to love our people more than they love themselves. I'm in love with black folks, despite what you believe. I love my people. And I understand that we not all developed, including myself, and a lot of us are damaged goods. And I'm going to continue to love us because I love us for real, and empower us and encourage us to be better as I grow with the collective. I'm not a big I, little you. This is not that type of situation. I'm a part of a community, but I do understand some of us have a little more than the average bear, and we got to continue to spread that love, show that love, and I believe if we do so, we're going to be all right.
All right. Where can they find you?
Twitter, Minister Stretch. Instagram, Minister Stretch. Facebook, Minister Stretch, just like that. And tap in with us, support the work, and also, people don't do enough of this. Invite me to support you. It's never one-sided. I want to be a help. I got 10 years of experience. I want to encourage the younger activists and the younger leaders in the community to avoid some of the pitfalls. And so don't think that I'm not hard to find. I'm not, untouchable. Let me support what you're doing as well. Let's not use each other. Let's utilize each other.
Right. Skinny?
Skinny Junior 777 on Instagram.
Shayna_Candy everywhere. That's SHAYNA_KANDII.
Just call me Spence on Twitter. Views from the 7 on Twitter. Views from the _7 TikTok and YouTube. Views from the 7 Facebook. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, we up out of here. Peace.